Hey, good afternoon, Doug and Sarah. This is going to be kind of a lengthy demo video for you guys for both of your Saberforge Eres and Enoch Sabers that I converted over to CFX boards for you. So there's actually quite a bit of difference between what you've got now and what you had when you sent it to me. So let's go over my desk and take a look at these, and we'll get these out in the mail to you first thing Monday morning. Thanks. Hey, good afternoon, Doug and Sarah. We are going to go over your Sabers. There's a lot to go over, but I'll try not to keep you too long. I just like to do these videos to give you just a detailed overview of what I did and then how to operate these Sabers going forward. Okay, so the first one we're going to go over is Sarah's over here, which is this guy right here. I do get them confused between the Epoch and the Eres, but this I know is Sarah's because Doug had me weather his, but we'll go over that here in a second. All right, so both of these had factory installs in them. This one in particular had, well, there wasn't even a chassis. It was basically a battery. The board was taped to the battery. There was a 28mm pancake speaker in here, but it was just kind of dangling in there. I just ripped that out. I didn't even save it. So I did save the other one to kind of show, you know, when we go over Doug's, but this one in particular I just took out, I ripped out. Changed it into a 2-button setup. All right, so power will be up top, auxiliary will be down here. You do have a Neopixel setup now, so you have a lit PCB in there. This is your blade plug, of course, and I made sure that it fits down in there. This blade plug being a little bit unique as it has a lip right at the top. So I made sure that the Neopixel connector for the new Neopixel blade was set at the correct depth for the blade plug. All right, so I got these over here to show you that, and then also so I don't forget them. To get to your chassis, you want to unscrew the pommel. We're going to talk about the pommel here in a second, and your chassis will fall right out. All right, so this is what you've got here. They both have CFX boards, so easy access to your SD card. Removable batteries. So this is a huge difference between what you had and what you have now. These will take 18650 keep power batteries, and I will send you a link because you'll need 2 of them. We did this instead of the external charging port. That way you could quick swap these batteries out. All right, so spring side being the negative side of your battery. Instead of a pancake speaker, you've got a 28mm Smuggler's Outpost Elite speaker, so it sounds very good now. Using a switch pixel PCB set from Smuggler's Outpost, and that makes contact with a PCB system in there that does not come out. That's actually held in place by this set screw right here. So you never want to mess with this set screw. This one up top here, that's your blade retention. All right, so use that for blade retention. Don't unscrew this guy. That's what's holding everything in place. All right. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, the pommel. So the size of the Saber is a little misleading because there's not much room on the inside before you reach that PCB set right there. So what I had to do on the pommel, one, I had to make a little bit of a spacer right here. I 3D printed this spacer, I glued it in place, it does not come out. All right, and then I had to put this on my lathe. I did machine down about just over half of these threads to make room for the chassis. So you take your battery, the negative side of your battery goes over here by the spring.
Another happy landing.
All right, I've got all the sound fonts on here for this one that you asked me for. I believe we got OB3, Commander Tano, TFA Graflex, and we've got a few others, but I'm going to cycle through all of them so that you can see that they're on there. But when your battery's in, you can put this in any way you want, as long as this side goes in first. You just slide it right in, take your pommel, screw it down tight. When it's nice and tight, the chassis makes contact with those pins and you can hit power. To change your blade color is very easy to do. Just hold down auxiliary and twist the Saber. You can change to any blade color you want. All right, we'll find a blue. There's a nice blue for Obi-Wan. All right, we'll put a blade in this guy. These are both set up for 1-inch blades. I did set them up for the particular blade length that was noted on the notes that came with the Sabers. So I believe this one's 32 and the other one's 36. or vice versa, but I did get those right because I was looking at the notes when I set it up. All right, so this is just my little test blade, although it is set up for the full length blade. All right, so blade retention right there, power. So now you got a nice Neopixel blade. Auxiliary's down here. So blaster bolt deflex is just tapping auxiliary. If you want blade lockup, you hold it down. To go to another sound font, we're going to hold down the auxiliary switch.
Sound bank selection.
So you hear that? Now you can cycle up or down with either button.
Ray Skywalker.
Come get it! I need a weapon!
Audio player. SD card. System menu. Exit menu.
Obi-Wan. Ahsoka. This mission is everything we cannot fail.
When you find one you like, just hold down a button. I'm holding down the power button. On the TFA Graflex font, these are all from Kyberphonic. You had a few different variations of that font, so they're both on here. All right. We'll try one more.
Sound bank selection. Ray Skywalker. No, you can't do it for me.
You got a good flash on class. Blade locked up, and we'll turn it off and take the blade out. So that's how this one works. And before we move on to the next saber or take the chassis out, I'm also going to put your blade plug in so I don't forget that. All right, so we'll back this up a little bit. This is a little tight. I'm also going the wrong way, so it would be helpful to loosen it up when you want to take the blade out. Probably just bit into my blade, but that's okay. This blade is pretty beat up. All right, so put this blade plug in. Just give it a few turns to lock it in. We don't have to beat it up. And you get some nice shine through in that blade plug. All right. And of course, when we're done, CFX does have a deep sleep, so you can just hold the auxiliary switch down to go into deep sleep mode, or if you want to take the battery out, you can. So eventually you'll need to take it out anyway to charge it. You do that from the positive side over here by this PCB. You should be able to pop it out with your finger. All right, so that is basically how that works. You can just slide it in there for safekeeping. We'll screw the pummel on. That's the operation of this one. All right, so I hope that you like the way that that came out. Now we'll go over this one. Now this one was requested a few different things. One was for a light weathering. And I know my light is a bit harsh on my video, and then on my pictures I turn the light up a little bit as well. But when you get this in hand, you'll notice I did some light weathering. Nothing too crazy. Just try to make it used. You did mention that the brass pins were kind of getting in your way here, so if you could kind of see that up against my hand, I did machine these down to be the same diameter or not go above the surface of the actual saber. And then I weathered them a little bit too, because I weathered the entire thing. All right, so hopefully that came out the way that you had envisioned it. All right, this also has, you can't see it, there you go, you can see it right there. They have KR Sabers V4 Eco PCBs in them, so lots of LEDs in there to light your blade plug, which I have your blade plug right here. All right, this one is very interesting in the control box because this is the SN V4 core that you had. As you can see, it's a one button setup, and then it had this charging plug that kind of lined up right there. I don't like these. I think it's a little cheesy, right? And I wanted to make this saber a 2-button setup, and it sounded like that's what you wanted me to do also. So what I designed a little holder to go in here that holds a brass tactile switch. All right, so that's what that is. You've got your main switch here will be power, and then your auxiliary switch will be this little brass tactile switch right up top here. All right, and then again, to get to your chassis, you want to unscrew the pommel. A lot of similarities between the two, just a little bit different design to accommodate the inside of the Saber. All right, but this is your chassis. I had not a whole lot of room before I got to those switches, so I had to figure out an interesting way for you to get to your SD card because this is a 1-inch diameter chassis. You can't put the board on top of the battery like I did on the other Saber. The other Saber was a 1.11 inch diameter, and that was enough room to stack, but not on a 1-inch. So what I did was I tilted the CFX board like this so that you could come over here when a battery's not in it and very easily get to your SD card. This Saber in particular, you requested the Power of Many bundle by Kyberphonics, so they're all on there. There's actually a total of 9 sound fonts, and we'll go through them. All right, you've got a 22 millimeter Smuggler's Outpost Nano Elite speaker in here, so this sounds very good, fully enclosed. Also a removable battery setup, so same battery, 18650 keep power.
Do not center around your anxieties.
You can see your pin system is in there as well. I'll just throw this in there. I did print out a little bit of a small spacer to press up against the chassis. That is glued in there. It doesn't come out. As you can see, those little grooves on the back side of the spacer, that's so that sound could escape here. All right, so screw that down nice and tight. Your so your upper chassis retention is this guy right here. So this will be the one that you do not want to mess with. This is your blade retention right here. All right, so that's what we've got here. But when your pommel is nice and tight, you can hit power. All your LEDs are lit up. This is kind of a tall Saber, so I'm trying my best to show it on camera. Brass switch for auxiliary. Hold it down for blade lockup. And we'll turn it off and throw a blade in this guy as well. All right, so also 1-inch diameter blade. The same Allen key works for both blade retentions on both Sabers, so just a little something to keep in mind. All right, we'll lock the blade down, hit power. Now we're lighting up a blade. We get to the sound font menu the same way.
Sound bank selection. Master Endora.
We'll cycle through all of these so you can see that they're on here.
Exit menu. System menu. SD card audio player.
My name is Jord Fandar, Knight of the Jedi Order.
Master Varestra.
That's 2,
Padawan Torben.
3,
Chimere.
4,
Master Soul.
5,
Moshe.
6,
Kelnaka.
7,
Deki.
8,
Master Endora.
9.
Exit menu.
Master Endora is what we started with.
Master Endora.
Deki.
Kelnaka.
Green blade if you want. Just hold down auxiliary and twist the Saber. We've got a green blade right here. I believe his blade was green. I can't quite remember, but I'm pretty sure that was the color. Good flash on clash with this one too.
Sound bank selection. Kelnaka.
Moshe. Master Soul. Now you pay for what you've done.
Stranger. All right, so we'll go ahead and take this blade out too. Put this off to the side, and then we'll put your blade plug in here as well, so I don't lose that either. Your blade plug will go pretty. The blade socket on this guy is pretty deep. I just held it with my finger kind of flush and then locked it in. Plenty of shine through with that guy too. All right, and then when we're done again, taking off the pommel, sliding out your chassis. So remember, CFX has a deep sleep mode. You can hold auxiliary to go into that mode so you can leave the battery in, or when you want to take it out, your positive side of your battery is over here by the speaker, and you can pop it out with your finger. All right, so that is the Saberforge Eres and the Saberforge Enoch, both converted over to CFX 2-button setups with removable chassis in both. Let me know if you have any questions. It's pretty late in the afternoon here on Friday, so these will go out in the mail to you first thing Monday morning. Thanks.